I said, I want to share a few remarks from me at this time, and I want to begin by saying the title of my remarks is that my belief is that President Donald Trump has probably lived one of the most, if not the most, remarkable American life. In addition to that, there is no question he is, without any doubt, the most incredible political figure in our history. And I would like to share my journey with Donald Trump so you understand where I am coming from, and to put it in contrast with Kamala Harris's career. When I was in law school in the late 1980s, I read a book on vacation. It was called Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. And I was intrigued by this fella, and I liked everything that he had to say, and I learned a lot. And I saw myself maybe having a business career and not necessarily a legal career. And I became very much a Donald Trump fan. And then it was in I believe it was in the early 90s, the real estate market in this country collapsed, including in New York City. And I read, after that, The Art of the Comeback. And my favorite story, two favorite stories in The Art of the Comeback were these. He was with Marla Maples, his wife at the time, and he was walking down a street, and there was somebody with a pot. So here's what happens. So he's walking with Marla Maples, and he sees a beggar with a little tin pot in it. And he looks at Marla Maples and he says, "That guy right there has $1 billion more than I do." And she looked at him and said, "What?" Donald Trump was $1 billion upside down. And you know what he did? You know, he talks about never quitting, fight, fight, fight. And this will give you a perspective of where he's coming from as he's fighting lawfare. This is what President Trump did. He gets on the phone. 54 national and international banks held all those loans. And you know what that badass guy did? He said, "You either help me get out of it or you go down with me." And he stayed up all night negotiating with 54 banks. They all had to agree. And he got woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to deal with 3 were the last ones. And he went in the office and he did that. And when I read that book, you know what that told me? Donald Trump is a fighter. Donald Trump is a survivor. Donald Trump is a thinker. Now, fast forward. Elevator, 2015, he's coming down the elevator. And all these people said, "There's no way, no." I jumped on board quick. And the reason why I jumped on board quick is I said, Donald Trump is the only man that will say what needs to be said about Hillary Clinton. Now, we went through a campaign with John McCain. Old John McCain was too scared to talk about Jeremiah Wright. John McCain didn't want to pick on Barack Obama. Mitt Romney didn't want to pick on Barack Obama. He suspended his campaign so the whale Chris Christie could give Obama a hug after that hurricane hit New Jersey. All right? So let's go back again. Donald Trump, you can't make this up. He gets some money from his dad, Fred. Now, do you know how many people are born into a little bit and they squander it? How many people end up broke? How many people end up busted? Their lives torn apart? There's a lot of people who are born with silver spoons in their mouth and they don't amount to anything. Donald Trump took that money and became a multi-billionaire in Manhattan real estate. He did that. Then, after conquering real estate and becoming a billionaire, what else did he get involved in? Sports, USFL, the New York Generals, beauty pageants, Miss USA, Miss Universe, and on top of all that, he conquered Hollywood with The Apprentice. You tell me what American who has ever lived, and I know them all. George Washington, great general, founder of our country. Abraham Lincoln, saved our country. There's been a lot of Americans, but no American has ever, in the history of this country, billionaire businessman, conquered Hollywood, playboy, let's call it the way it is, and then decided to be president. Now, here's what he does. He gets elected president 2016. I know the inside stories. It was a little unexpected all the way up to election night. But guess what? This is what this man has endured. First, Barack Obama starts spying on his transition team. Starts taping at Trump Towers. Obama does that to him. Then his wimpy AG Jeff Sessions resigns. Special prosecutor, more investigation. Then he had to go through not one, but 2 impeachments. The man, while president of the United States for 4 years, had to endure Mueller investigation, 2 impeachments. Then they unleashed COVID on him and George Floyd on him, something he had nothing to do with, nothing. He did the best he could. Read Scott Atlas's book. He did the best he could. He stuck with Fauci. He stuck with all these people. Then what do? You're not going to tell me that miraculously they stopped counting the votes all at the same time in Milwaukee, in Atlanta, in Philadelphia, in Detroit, Michigan. Are you kidding me? Bullshit. They did steal the election. They come up with mail-in ballots, COVID, all of that. So this man then has to endure all the persecution from January 6th. Then he has to endure not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 bogus legal prosecutions. And a bunch of civil lawsuits where some ugly woman, I apologize, claims he raped her at a store. Now think about this. I like lists. I like summaries. President Trump spied on Mueller investigation, 2 impeachments, January 6th, 4 prosecutions, civil lawsuits everywhere. There has been no man in the history of the United States that has been so unfairly prosecuted, investigated, and if he was such a crook, if he was such a bad guy, after all of that, the only thing they got is this so-called violation of a campaign dealing with storming. Think about that. As much as this guy was in New York business, and he was a crook. So you take all that together. This man has been martyred. I say it all the time on my show. It's hard to feel sorry for a billionaire, but I feel sorry for Donald Trump. This man has been through hell. Now, I paid, my wife about killed me. I paid $125,000 to go down to Mar-a-Lago 2 years ago and have a private dinner with Donald Trump. Now this is fun. I thought for $125,000 it was just going to be me and him sitting at a table. It was me and 20 other people. We were in the Mar-a-Lago dining room in a big square. I love telling this story, and I'm going to close my remarks. This is a great story. There's President Trump. To the right of him is some billionaire that used to be in the garbage disposal business, and his wife. To the right of him, which was to the left of him, which to the right of me, was some really nice but pretty weird California billionaire. Then me, then Kimberly Guilfoyle, then Matt Whitaker, And then on the other side of her was some Texas billionaire, Ted Cruz's wife, which still kind of cracked me up. I was wondering why it took Ted Cruz so long to endorse Trump. He was in that room. So get this. They're all talking. President Trump's eating. He didn't eat his dessert. He's talking. A couple of people ask questions. I'm the only non-billionaire that's in the room. I decided I'm going to ask a question. I'm the bulldog. I said, Mr. President, I got to ask you one question. And it's this. You went through hell, but you saved this country. Are you willing to go through hell again to save this country? And guess what all the billionaires did? They all started clapping. I was like, damn. And the president made it clear, without answering the question directly, that he had to wait a little bit longer to file due to some of the laws that kick in. After that dinner, I think Kimberly Guilfoyle might have slapped me for asking the question. I'm joking. This big, tall Texas billionaire comes up. He goes, I just want to tell you, as you can see, that was a great question, and everybody in the room really loved your question. I said, I'm glad they love my question. But here's my point, and I'll close with this. If you look at President Trump's biographical history of accomplishment, of success, and then you throw in there what a great job he did as president in 4 years. The concept and the idea, and I'm an optimist. I think the American people are going to wake up. The concept and the idea that this country could elect someone who started her political career at the kneeling before Willie Brown, district attorney, attorney general, United States Senate, vice president, all because she's a black woman. Folks, I want to tell you right now, if there's a gay black man running for president who's qualified, I'd vote for him over a white guy. You know, that's where we are as a country. And just like Brandon Straka says, they do all this stuff to divide us. We're not racist. And what they do is they hate MAGA, and they hate the Trump movement, and they hate all of us because we love it. But you know what Trump did that Romney couldn't do, and McCain couldn't do, and Bush 43 couldn't do, and none of them can do, and the Democrats can't do? He connected to you. He connected. The Republican Party establishment are teacup country club Republicans. MAGA is for the people. And President Trump goes through hell for us. And I remember what Dinesh D'Souza said. The Democrats, you can come to the Democrats and say, your guy just got caught in bed with a dead goat. And the Democrats would say, so what? And if they come up to Republicans and say, oh, they caught you with a live woman. Oh, I can't vote for my guy. We have to have thick skin like MAGA. I don't care what the hell they say about President Trump. I don't believe it. And you know what? He's proven to be the most investigated man in the history of this country. And I vote for President Trump as the most remarkable American life in history and the most badass politician